I wasn't expecting company, but if you stay out of the shrubs and flower beds, you could stay.
Give them a wave, Pops, now that you've invited them in. We're two old guys who enjoy playing sandbox and survival games together. I'm Uncle Craig. Go ahead and sit down. Let's visit for a while.
Well, I think when I recorded this segment, I didn't have, I had my mute button on, I believe. So I'm going to talk through a bit of what we have here and hopefully get this kind of the same spirit as I did when I recorded it. But this here, as I showed before, was the Meadows Hall. And we kind of walked through the supplies and such. The idea is to keep this hall as much to being Meadows biome related as possible, so we don't want to necessarily add things into the chest and stuff that doesn't belong in the Meadows. And so you see me placing in here some of the items that I had on my inventory that I didn't necessarily need, but I am hanging out of the portal components at this point. And what we're going to do is plan on a trip down, or up, I should say, up to the Black Hall. We're going to pass by the Eikther monument or altar, and then go on through to the Elder altar, and then up to the Black Hall. On this map, you can see where we're headed. There's mountains shown here. There's mountains that are really right near the Meadows Hall. So the Meadows Hall really is kind of a neat location. There's black forest and such in that area. But if you do pick up things that are only found in the mountains of the Black Hall, we just ask once you move up to the Black Hall, you take all that with you. Sometimes it requires taking a cart, and so make yourself a cart, load it up. There's people on the server that will usually help you with the journey if they're online, and if they're not, you could take the cart all the way up if you'd like. But then you also have the option of creating a boat, and whether it's a carve, I think a carve you can get at that point, maybe just a raft at that point, to tell you the truth, so you may not be able to even do it with a boat. Probably have to take a cart. But here, if you end up with a carve at some point, you do have this pathway right here along the water. Part of it's ocean, part of it's the local biomes that goes up between the two. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and take this journey. Now, one thing I didn't point out, I'll go back here in a second. One thing I didn't point out is that this was just kind of rough put up. And so if you would like to path out some areas here, level some of the ground, make it a little more cozy and comfortable, feel free. Again, we just ask that you use things that would be available here in the Meadows. Don't upgrade the workbench and such up beyond that. But definitely make it more cozy if there's things you can do to improve it. We just kind of threw it up quickly, and since it's a beginning area, we didn't put a lot into it. So now we're taking a run up toward, first of all, the Eikther altar. And you can see in the mini-map where we're heading. It's the Eikther Forsaken ability is handy because you can run and not use up so much stamina, so I don't always save that just for battles. In fact, oftentimes I use it on journeys so I can run for extended periods, as it uses up a lot less stamina and it recovers fairly quickly. Always like to try to get feathers whenever possible, but sometimes the boars and such don't cooperate with you, so you're not able to get a good shot off. Alright, just up the hill over here is the Eikther altar. And we've had several battles up here, but here's the altar, and there's a lot of videos that show how to get that triggered, how to get the boss spawned. And then as you can see, we've had several trees taken down and a lot of mess up here from the times we battled them. There's a lot of people on the server who'd be willing to come down and help you with that battle, but our form of help is just simply stepping in when we need to, and not to hit Eikther or try to help kill him, but simply to assist, to help you to achieve that goal of destroying the boss. So feel free to ask if ever you want a hand doing that. Now we're going to head quite a bit farther north. There's going to be a couple of small river crossings, and then one that's a pretty wide river. it actually takes you across the ocean biome to get from one landmass to the other. That's where we'll need a raft. I did notice that I didn't pick up raft components before I started this journey, so at some point I'll take a trip to get those things, and then we'll continue from there. And at that point we'll actually go back to the original recording of my voice for the video. I'm not sure what happened here, and somehow I must have hit the mute button when I got started here. Going through the Black Forest, you'll get shot at by skeletons and such. I just run right through. Depending on your skills, you may need to stop and fight them. I just kind of carry through here. Now here's one of these river crossings. And over here you'll notice that there is a troll. So right in this area, when you get up here, you will want to kind of spy up there and see if there is a troll. And kind of be careful coming across here. If you're just coming from the Meadows and you're new to the game, that can surprise you. I'm sneaking right now so he can't see me, but he is up there, and I'd rather not mess with him right now. He's not hard for me to deal with right now, but it just don't want to mess with him. I'm going to keep things rolling. Now swimming is an ability that's often overlooked. I think mine's only at level 6 or 7 right here, but it is valuable and helpful to have a good swim ability, especially for times like this where you got a kind of a distance to go. And later on, the segment of river that we need a raft for could probably be swum across if your swim skill was high enough. Of course, mine is not. In the rain and storms, the birds will usually stay on the ground. They're easier to hit. When it's daytime, you kind of got to catch them quick. They don't stay on the ground for long. But I do try to pick up feathers as often as possible. I tend to use bow a lot, and so it's handy to have the feathers. On the way up, we're going to stop by what you saw there, one of the spawners that's up there. We have a portal, and so we're going to go up, and I'm going to use that portal, I think, to go and get some supplies for the raft. Right up there, you can see a spawner in the distance. I think I check over here to see if this is where my portal is. I don't think it is. An idiot came up, so we dealt with him real quick. Yeah, this was not the spawner I was looking for, so we're going to keep going. Oh, we got a brute. It is a brute. I decided just to ignore him. I didn't want to suit up and arm up, so we'll just run on, leave him behind. Okay, this clearly is the location where we have the spawner, and this will be here for a while. It might be gone by the time you get on our server, but for now this spawner is right here, and it's right near that, or excuse me, the portal is right here, right near this spawner. And if you look over here, there's a big rock, and then to the left up here there's a boulder that's kind of at the front part of this rock. I find if you stand in that little wedge right there between those two and move forward enough to draw the gray dwarfs up, they'll come up and you can hit them up here, and you can do quite a bit of leveling. If you go down by the spawner, you run the risk that you or the gray dwarfs will destroy the spawner, and so I find it better if I pull them up this way and take care of them here. But you can get quite a bit of leveling done right there. It's a nice place for that. So right now I'm going to use this portal, and that's just to my right. I'm going to use this portal to jump over to one of the other halls. So I just came back from the Black Hall. I went through the portal, went to the Black Hall, and I got the supplies I should have picked up before I started this journey. And that is some leather scraps, resin, and enough wood for a workbench and a raft. So if you remember, we stopped here at this portal at night, came back during the day. We're going to go around that. We're not going to deal with the spawner right now. Those are good sources of for leveling up your skills, whether it's shields or the weapon of choice, things like that. But right now we're not going to mess with that. And right here we've got another river, little stream, if you will, to go across. And let's see, no troll this time on this one. Let's go across. I should have enough stamina, about half my stamina, but I should have enough to get across. And a little neck. They're a pain in the neck is what they are. Yeah. Take your bite out of me now, you won't get that chance again. They're ganging up on me. They must figure there's strength in numbers. Alright, so we're coming up on the river we need to cross. Alright, so you can see that right there is going to be a bit more than I can get through. This is more like a, I forget the term for it, but it's more like a bit of the ocean that's coming through here, separating this, more than just a river. So, in fact, as we go through, I think we hit an ocean biome. So what I'm going to do now is, and you'll be doing this too, construct a workbench, and then we'll construct a raft. And you'll get to see kind of how to work these rafts too. They're not intuitive necessarily. Middle click to destroy that and jump across. Alright. Grab this rudder here. And I'm not going to lower the sail right now. I could because the wind's somewhat behind me. But I'm just going to hit one tap of the W key. And now it's got me going forward. Now I can tap A, go left a little bit at a time. Tap D, change my position to right. As long as the wind's behind me, I can drop the sail a little bit, get a little bit of speed. I can drop it all the way and get more speed. As long as in the far right hand side there the wind is showing as white, then it should power your craft. As soon as it is gray or black, it cannot be powered by the wind, and then you're just self-propelled by using the rudder there. The game does a fair job of the boats. The raft has no keel, so it is a little bit more of a struggle to get it to operate. When you come to land, you probably want to reduce your speed a bit. I'm just going to go to a paddle and get myself up here. By the way, you see the fish jumping around. That's kind of new in the game. Now I'm going to press. Well, let's try this one more time. Let the wave pick me up a little bit more again. There we go. Well, it's probably as good as we're going to get. I'm going to press the E key, and then I'm going to get out my, you can't tell there, but I got my axe out. And we're, well, actually, let me do this first. I found out that it is better to first make sure your craft is fully repaired, which it may not be. Maybe it's okay, because I didn't hit anything. There we go. But it's better to be safe than sorry. Yeah, see, I did repair it a little bit, probably from when I hit it with the axe. But you want to make sure it's fully repaired when you tear it down, because then you'll get full amount of the components, from what I understand. But there, the raft has been destroyed, and now I have the components. You cannot break down the raft or the boats using your hammer here the way that you can break down other things you build.
Like, subscriber, get off my lawn.